Hey, what's up guys, Andy here, and today we're reviewing over High School Prodigies Have It Easy Even in Another World, Episode 3, It Seems Rue Can Decide Her Own Worth. Okay, so before we talk about anything in this episode, this is like legit 12 hours late. My internet was out up until about 45 minutes ago, and it was out all day yesterday, or today, kind of, I guess, yesterday now. All that night before. I had no internet, my mobile data was out, so I couldn't do this review. I couldn't really do anything, so I'm glad it's back. But this episode started off crazy. I loved the opening of this episode with the Masato stuff. He's by far my favorite character, no doubt whatsoever. It got in the middle a little bit, touch and go, and then at the end I was like, holy shit, like, I can already see where this story's going. It's gonna be great. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into this review. If y'all do enjoy it though, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and check out the description for my Twitter, Instagram, stuff like that, and all my affiliated channels, and let's get right into this.
They say you don't ever go home, but you can't stay here. And no, I don't wanna be alone in the world out there.
So at the very start of the episode, we get Tsukasa and Ringo talking about how she has manufactured aluminum alloy. And basically she's made a bunch of shovels that are lightweight, and they're gonna make the work easier on the folks in the village. Then we get a kind of cute scene where she kind of yawns and she gets tired, and he's like, it's fine, go to sleep. The sudden lifestyle change is affecting all of us pretty much, so it's just kind of like, you know, they're completely different. And we see him looking here, and, you know, it's cold outside and they're doing all this work by hand. We'll get back to that, because we cut into the intro on title card here, and basically he's all like, we're not gonna let them mess with us anymore, buy all of their product. And his boy walks back in, and he's like, I got bad news, man. They bought all the product. We aren't getting any of it. You know, we're not getting none of it. I don't know where that voice came from. Don't know where, I'm sorry. But we find out that Masato has actually bought and signed all of the merchants that come into the town to him. And he's like, well, I'll give you better prices. I'll give you better prices. He's like, we already knew you would give us better prices. We signed with him because you broke our trust. And he's just sitting here crying over Masato. And, you know, Elch is like, he really did crush him in a week. That's insane, you know, like he did it. And that's when Masato's character kind of took a cool twist for the better. He looks at him and he goes, oh, don't worry. Crushing you would be too easy here. One monopoly over the other is still bad business. And we find out that he signed them all to empty contracts, and he basically just butchered this dude down and signed all of them back over to him afterwards. That way, you know, he would be humbled and would actually, you know, be good, but also his workers are good. And he goes, Elch looks at him, he goes, you're a bad guy, aren't you? And he goes, in my world, I'm a merchant known as the Demon Lord, which was insane. But then we cut into my favorite part of this entire episode. So some thugs roll up and they pretty much grab Rue, and they're like, we're taking you back. This is our product. We bought her. And we find out that her mother, and her father are all slaves, and these guys own her and are going to sell her. And at that point, it was just a really sad thing to see, because she was crying and screaming, and he just looks at her, he goes, shall I save you? Like, not like a, oh my god, I'm gonna save you, like other characters, because he does have that hint of a monopoly around him. But then again, you know, she says, I'm gonna become a great merchant. I'm gonna buy my mother and father back, and then the rest of the money I make is yours. I won't let you take a loss on this. So she knows he's still a good guy deep down. And she tells him, she's like, please buy me right here and now. And he throws 100 times worth of money, more than she's worth, at these guys, and goes, consider her paid off. And he goes, we're going to make them regret selling you. You're going to turn a much bigger profit than that petty change. And then Elch goes, I never knew spending money could make me feel so good, you know, to spend money on something. And this was my favorite scene by far. No matter what you say about the series, I enjoy it. I don't think it's the best show in the world by any means, but it's just fun. I'm just having fun reviewing it and talking about it and just, you know, getting through it, you know. It's just one of those things. But let's go ahead and move on to some magic. So Shinobu's been doing some research on this magic stuff, and she found out that there are 4 types of magic spirits: fire, water, wind, and earth. And, if you contact them and communicate with them, it does things. And she goes, it's, what you would expect. But the only person in this area who can use magic is the mage officer who is in the Lord's temple. And she basically says here, with the 7 heroes thing, we don't have a lot to go off of because they destroyed all other religions centuries ago, this being one of them. And they have nothing to go off of. No one has any information. But cutting back to the very beginning of the episode, we find out what Masato wanted these shovels for and how he was going to solve the problem with them being in the cold water all the time, taking their baths. He made a public bathhouse for all the villagers, which was basically like a sauna. And that's when Akatsuki ran in, and he's like, a bunch of hunters ran into a monster called the Chief of the Forest. Hurry, we gotta go, quick. And that's when I kind of knew where the episode was going to be going, because Al was there, and she's like, oh, so you're the Chief of the Forest, eh? And we also find out here that while she's fighting this thing, which, pretty cool fight, I mean, nothing like crazy, but it was still cool. And we find out that Kine, I don't know how to say her name, I'm sorry, is going to be doing surgery on Mayor Olga, who was completely and utterly demolished by this thing. And she's doing her surgery, and Ao is fighting this thing, and she finally defeats it. She cuts this thing's head off, and blood just splatters out of it, and she just swipes her blade to get all the blood off, and then just puts it up like, typical swordswoman thing to do. And we find out that Kine pretty much fixed him. She healed him completely, and he'll wake up in 2 or 3 days. And I was like, oh, that's a good way to end the episode off. And I looked, and we still had a few minutes. So I was like, what the fuck? And we cut over here. This is the Silver Knight Inzaghi. And basically, he is the captain of Marquis Findolf's Guardian Knights. And he is here to fix some treasonous actions. So he takes Elch, Akatsuki, Masato, and Rue, and a bunch of other villagers, I guess, into this place, and he's like, it's a sin for you vulgar peasants to even touch this gold. And Masato's like, we got that with our own work. He's like, well, the Lord's words are more important than yours, so die by fire. And basically, they light fire here, and everybody's like, we gotta run in and help him. Masato's like, or Tsukasa's like, no, don't. Because Akatsuki, or Akatsuki, saved everybody. And they're all celebrating like, oh, we did it. And that's when Tsukasa was like, wait a minute, where's Lyrule? So they left us on a cliffhanger. And we did see the Silver Knight here in Zagi, looking at Lyrule. So maybe he stole her for, marital purposes, the typical anime thing. They gotta save her now. But I really like the way this series is coming together. I mean, it's nothing crazy. Do not get me wrong. I don't think this is anime of the year. Probably won't even be in my anime of the month at the Haphazard review. But with that being said, I enjoy it. It's fun. It's a nice little laid-back review. Kind of like, if it's for my daughter, I'd even defeat a demon lord. Kind of like that. It's just my laid-back review of the week, even though it's typically longer. So I don't know. I had fun with it. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and head out, y'all. I'm very sorry the video's late, and I hope y'all understand, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.